In this episode, we're diving into Nuggets versus Clippers. Did the Nuggets even the score? Find out. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports and movies with good vibes. Let's get it. Hey everyone, let's talk sound quality. Imagine having pro-level audio that's easy to set up, flexible, and sounds incredible. That's the Røde Pod Mic USB. It's got both USB and XLR connections, so whether you're recording solo at home or in a full studio setup, you're covered. And get this, the built-in DSP effects let you adjust the sound with zero lag. You get that deep, smooth broadcast tone right out of the box. It's versatile, powerful, and basically makes your voice sound like pure gold. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So the Nuggets faced the Clippers last night, and they lost 126 to 122. Really unfortunate loss here. So some major takeaways from this game. First of all, let's back up and say that the Nuggets were in the Blue City Edition jerseys, you know, those really bright blue with the mile-high circle around it, and then the vibrant red on them. And then the Clippers were in white jerseys. This was in LA, in the Intuit Dome, first time Nuggets played in the Intuit Dome. And we had the same starters with that we've been having lately with Nikola Jokić, CB, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., MPJ, Jamal Murray, and then P. Watt. One great note, though, for last night was that Aaron Gordon, AG, finally came back, but he's on a minutes restriction, so he wasn't in the starting lineup yet because of that, so they had him play off the bench. But this really was a game based off of the free throws. And we're going to get into that when we get into the stats, but that was the biggest issue in this entire game was free throws. And that was kind of the big issue with the last time that we faced the Clippers when they came to Denver. And this major issue, keeps on resulting from James Harden, who can only play well unless he is fouled. I don't believe he's a good basketball player. He's definitely not one of the top greats. He has made several threes, but you know there are much better players than him. Case in point, Steph Curry is way better than James Harden. I don't like James Harden. I don't think he's a good basketball player. I will not give him flowers for anything that he's done in the league. When he's gone, it'll be a much better league because of him, because the only thing that he has made worse in the league is going to the foul line. He has changed that part of the association negatively because of that. I think he's a negative impact on the game. But I'm actually a decent fan of the Clippers. You know, in terms of Western Conference, if the Nuggets aren't winning, you know, I'm rooting for Clippers. The only thing, unfortunately, is that Harden is on that team, and I cannot stand him. It's the same thing with my Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns' cat is on that team, and I can't stand him either. And so it's just kind of unfortunate that two players that I cannot stand are on teams that I respect. This was a story of fouls. But major thing for Nuggets, at least, is that Aaron Gordon finally came back. We needed him back, and I think it was again, now that he's back in the rotation, it's trying to figure out how to play with everyone again, because we had gotten used to him not being in the lineup. But I think it will help overall. Hopefully this was a loss that they needed to have to be able to build up, because the next couple of games are not going to be fun for them. We have a very pissed off, very hungry Golden State Warriors who have lost 4 games in a row coming into Denver. And they already have clinched the NBA Cup, but now they're facing us. And even though it's a cup game, it still matters within regular season stats. and rankings and everything. And so we still absolutely need to win against the Golden State Warriors in Denver, despite the fact that we're eliminated from even cup contention or anything. So, and then after them, we have the 1 seed Cavs. So they have some really tough games this week. And if they're not going to be able to win against the Clippers, then they definitely got to amp it up and kick it into high gear for the next 2 games. So let's get into the actual game itself. The first quarter, the Clippers actually got the tap. They controlled it, and Zubac had the ball, but he was on the Clippers side of the arena, or the court, and he threw it to James Harden, who was in the backcourt, which caused a violation and a turnover to the Nuggets. Murray, or actually the ball gets stolen several times. It goes back and forth, each team stealing the ball back, stealing, and then until finally Powell sinks a 3 and is the first bucket of the game. So definitely don't like when the opposite team sinks a 3 as the first bucket, and he himself is not one. Like, I will step back and say Powell is a much better basketball player than James Harden. I respect Powell, and we'll see it in the stats. I wanted to go into stats for them specifically that I don't normally do, but I want it to be shown because it also is a good point when you're then judging Nuggets players, aka Murray. We're going to get into that. So, Murray gets the first bucket for the Nuggets with a layup. And this has already been after they had back-to-back buckets. So they went up 5 before we got 2. And then there was a bad call on Murray when he was trying to rebound, but Chris Dunn came over in the back of him, and Murray was called for the foul, not Chris Dunn. And that was a total bad call. They should have called that on Dunn 100%. Jokić gets his first bucket and the Nuggets' second bucket at the 6:54 mark of the first quarter. So already we are having a slow first quarter again. So frustrating not to see the Nuggets actually start off with some fire. And at this point, before Jokić even made that, the Clippers were up almost by 10. It was 2-11 by the time that Jokić finally got his first bucket. Stupid. Refs were definitely calling a lot of stupid, soft fouls on the Nuggets. Through most of the game, they were calling these fouls. Like, I don't know if they paid the refs off. I don't like going down that route, but it definitely felt like it. It definitely felt like the refs were biased for someone. They had their parlay on certain Clippers players, because it definitely seemed like they were in favor of the Clips last night. So the Clippers did win the first quarter 32-23. Then we get into the second quarter. Nuggets start off the quarter because they lost the tap. Luckily, they had that violation, but they didn't capitalize on it. Like, everything in that first quarter, despite the bad calls, should have had Nuggets in the bonus, or in the above, in the lead over the Clippers. But because they just couldn't capitalize things and they kept on getting bullied by the Clippers, they actually took the loss there. And so the Nuggets start off with the quarter with a missed 3 from Aaron Gordon. Just kind of reminiscent of, or really speaks well for how the game was going. It's just missing buckets. Clippers immediately get a bucket when they get the ball. But Murray gets the first Nuggets bucket of the second with a 3, followed by a jumper for 2. So that was nice. And he actually had some really nice shots tonight. The Nuggets struggled though to make shots in the early part of the second quarter. They were playing nastier type of physicality. Like they were super physical, and it was a nasty kind of physical, but not as nasty as the Mavs. But they were getting there, and Strother finally gets out of the physicality with a bucket and an and one. He had to muscle his way into it, and it was nice to see, but at the same time, like, why did he have to do that? Call the fouls, ref. You call it on the Nuggets so easily. Why aren't you calling it on the Clips? AG hit his 700th career 3. It's not even anywhere near the top players, but, you know, it's still a decent, I guess, stat for him. 700th career 3 to force the Clippers into timeout. And Jokić did a court-long pass to Murray for a layup at the 6:10 mark of the second quarter. Gets Nuggets to their first lead, which was awesome. The Clippers make a run, though, to tie the game. And so it was just kind of a little bit more back and forth a little bit. And Jokić does a no-look pass to CB for a bunny hop bucket, which is pretty awesome. James Harden makes his 3,000th career 3 at the 2-minute 30 mark of the second. So good for him. Steph Curry's still better than him. So, and then Jokić responds with a deep 2. Zubac travels, but Jokić fouls him after it. And so the refs actually called Jokic's fouling rather than the Zubac traveling that happened before it. So that's kind of the frustration that was happening with the officiating last night. The Nuggets ended up actually winning the second quarter, which was awesome. They won it 36-37. If you remember, the first quarter, the Clippers won 32-23. So they basically broke even, and they did. We went into the half tied 59-59. The Nuggets start off the third quarter with a Jokić pass to P-Watt for a bucket, which was awesome. Kind of looked like they were kind of keeping their energy going. Maybe a little bit of hope. P-Watt seems to have escalated a lot of his rebounding skills in this quarter and gets several second chance points. It was really nice to see him actually battling it out, trying to jump up and use his wingspan and everything to get the ball. The Nuggets are able to disrupt the Clippers a lot more in the third. It looked like they were starting to control the third quarter and the game itself. They even got up to 10-point lead at one point. They started getting sloppy with the rebounds and with the passing, allowed the Clippers to make a bounce back. And Zubac causes a take foul. So that was nice because then that caused the Clippers to go to a timeout. And Ty Lue almost got a tech for that. But they actually did the kind. I guess with a take foul, it's kind of a little bit of like a tech. So Jamal Murray shoots that, and then the Nuggets retained the ball, which was nice. And so this was kind of around that time where we were still controlling the game. It was nice to see, but then back-to-back threes happened, and Powell answers with a 3. Jokić gets a steal, kicks it to P-Watt, who dunks it uncontested, which was nice. Harden keeps hitting open threes, though. Again, the open 3 uncontested threes that I keep on harping out every single episode so far. I've noticed the Nuggets do not contest threes. It is so frustrating. The Nuggets leave Harden open again for another uncontested 3 to bring the Nuggets down by, or the Clippers up by 2. Jokić ties the game, but Clippers get a last bucket for the Clippers to actually win the third quarter 33-31. So then fourth quarter happens, and Westbrook gets a steal to start the fourth, which was nice. But then Harden steals it back and gets fouled going to the rim. This is his game. He can't shoot well enough, so he has to rely on going to the foul line, which is what Embiid does. I can't stand either of those two. And a little bit, it's kind of also what Cat does. All three of those players rely heavily on the foul line. It's so stupid. And it makes the game boring when you're always going to the foul line. Just stop. There's got to be some new rules implemented here to stop guys from going to the foul line. So, but the Nuggets struggle to get defense going and rebounds, allowing the Clippers to attempt several second chance points. The Clippers are the first to 100. Suddenly, every Clipper is making threes. It was so frustrating to see everyone was making threes. It was just nonstop threes, buckets from every single player from the Clippers on the court. Meanwhile, the Nuggets couldn't buy a bucket. And finally, at the 5:36 mark, we get a Jokić to AG assist dunk, which we have so needed since AG left with his injury 10 games ago. Because if you remember, he's been out for 10 games. So finally we get him back, and finally we get to see some Jokić AG action in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, it had to be the fourth quarter. It couldn't be in like the first quarter or the second or the third. It had to be the last part of the game. But Murray starts actually playing a little bit clutch. He gets a much needed three, and the Clippers challenge a call that Jokić was fouled, and fortunately it was unsuccessful. With the way that the officiating going, I was almost certain that they were going to call it in favor of the Clippers, but I was glad that they didn't. They finally used their heads. But unfortunately, the Clippers actually win the fourth quarter as well, 34-32, and again they win 126-122. It's really stupid. They actually started ending the quarter, the game. That fourth quarter, they started just back and forth fouls, and the last foul that the Clippers did was on Jokić, who missed a bucket and then made a bucket, and then in return they had to foul the Clippers, but they ended up fouling the one person you don't want to foul, which is Harden, who went to the foul line, made both shots like he does. So that was the game, and when we come back from the break, we'll go into stats. Hey everyone, if you're looking for a game-changing webcam that keeps up with every move, you've got to check out the Insta360 link. It's a 4K AI-powered webcam that auto-tracks so you're always in frame, even if you're moving around. Perfect for live streams, meetings, content creating, also podcasts. It adjusts to light, zooms in and out, and follows you naturally. This is hands-free, hassle-free, studio-quality production for anyone who wants professional visuals right from the desk. Insta360 Link is a total game changer. And we're back. So stats here. So like I said, Michael Porter Jr., Peyton Watson, Jokić, Brown, and Murray were the starters. So Michael Porter Jr. played 31 minutes tonight, 31 minutes and 40 seconds. He made 18 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 8 for 11 in field goals, 1 for 1 in three-pointers. He was 1 for 4 in free throws. Now, this is very uncharacteristic of him. This season, he has been struggling with free throws. That is not the thing that he usually struggles with. He is really good at free throws. So to see him struggling right now, it's really unfortunate because he is one of our best. He's usually one, if we talk last season, it was Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and KCP were our best free throw shot makers. Now it's Jamal Murray still, and then I would probably put Christian Brown on one of the top ends of there. So, and then Jokić is always number one there. So he had 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls. He was a +3. So not every player, even though he lost, was in the negatives, which is nice. Peyton Watson had a really good game. Normally, he's been struggling to make double digits in points, but tonight he did. He made it. So he played 28 minutes and 36 seconds. He made 13 points, had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was 6 for 9 in field goals, 1 for 2 in 3-pointers. He had 1 turnover and 2 personal fouls. He was a +1. Then we had Jokić, he was playing 39 points. He had yet another triple-double. He had 28 points, 14 assists, 14 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 12 for 24 in field goals, 2 for 7 in 3 points, 2 for 4 in free throws. He had 5 turnovers and 3 personal fouls. He was a -7 tonight. With all of those amazing stats, he was still a -7, which is crazy. But he did play the most amount of minutes tonight, short of Jamal Murray, actually, who we'll get to soon here. So Christian Brown played 35 minutes, 34 seconds, made 11 points, so he struggled a little bit tonight, but he did still make double digits, which he's been averaging. He made 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. He was 5 for 7 in field goals. He 1 for 3 in free throws, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. He was a 0 tonight. And then Jamal Murray he played 37 minutes, 43 seconds, 18 points, 7 assists, 1 steal, 7 for 12 in field goals, 2 for 4 in 3-pointers, 2 for 2 in free throws. He had 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul, and was a -1. And then out of the bench, we only had 3 players from the bench play tonight. It was Westbrook, Gordon, and Strother, which you can't really say Gordon is a bench player, but he was a bench player tonight. But if he's your bench player, then you got a pretty good bench. Westbrook, he played for 24 minutes, had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 for 11 in field goals, 1 for 5 in 3-pointers, 2 for 4 in free throws. He had 0 turnovers. He was the only Nugget tonight without any turnovers. Westbrook, Brodie. He had 2 personal fouls. He was a -7, same as Jokić. And then we have AG, Aaron Gordon, played 23 minutes, 48 seconds, again, on minutes restriction. But in those 28 minutes, he still made 10 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. He had 1 steal. He was 4 for 7 in field goals, 1 for 2 in 3-pointers, 1 for 1 in free throws. He had 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls. He was a -7. And we have Strother, who he played 18 minutes, 58 seconds, so pretty much 19 minutes. He made 15 points, got 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 for 7 in field goals, 2 for 3 in 3-pointers, 1 for 1 in free throws, 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, and was a -2. So we got the Nuggets primarily, like each individual player there, right? Let's go to the LA Lakers real quick. Norman Powell played 24 minutes. He had 28 points. He had 1 assist, 1 steal. He was 9 for 17 in field goals. He was 5 for 8 in 3-pointers, 5 for 5 in free throws, 1 turnover, 0 personal fouls, was a +2. James Harden, 38 minutes, 25 seconds, had 39 points. Now, everyone and their mom are going to think, wow, that's amazing. He's really good. He had 9 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 steal, but, and this is the big but here, he was 10 for 26 in field goals. 10 for 26. He averaged, in this game, 38.5%. He was 38.5% in field goals alone, okay? So you go to Jamal Murray, who played about a minute less than Harden. So they are pretty even there, okay, in minutes. Jamal Murray, he was a 58%. You have James Harden, who made 39 points, 38%. Jamal Murray, 37 minutes, 58%, okay? I don't like to hear this Jamal Murray hate, because he's not as bad as James Harden, who is still making a lot of points. Now, maybe Jamal Murray just needs to go to the foul line more. Maybe that's what he needs to do to get some more points, because that's clearly what Harden is doing. He was 6 for 15 in three-pointers, so that's 40%. Jamal Murray, 2 for 4 in three-pointers, was 50%, okay? And then this is where it gets ridiculous. James Harden went to the foul line and shot 13 points. He had 13 free throws. That's just ridiculous. That's stupid. You shouldn't be able to shoot 13 free throws. Something is wrong there. Like, open up your damn eyes, refs. That was, a lot of those fouls were not fouls on Harden. I don't care what anyone says, they were not fouls. He had 5 turnovers. How many did Jamal have? 3. Harden had 5. He also had 4 personal fouls. So he was close to fouling out. Not one single Nugget was close to fouling out. Yet, overall, we had 17 fouls to their 16. And yet they were going to the foul line almost every single play. James Harden was also a plus 14. So let's go team stats here. So we had Nuggets had 39 rebounds to their 42. So we got out rebound. And then we had 37 assists to their 28. So we out assist. The ball was moving more with the Nuggets. 7 steals to their 8. 3 blocks to their 4. We were shooting 58% from field goals. They were 47%. We were 41 from three-pointers. They were 46. We were 52 from free throws. They were 81. And again, that's because a freaking Harden went to the foul line every time someone breathed. And then we have 14 turnovers to their 14. So we tied in turnovers. And then we had, again, 17 personal fouls to their 16. So, you know, stat-wise, this wasn't a very, out of reach game for us. It all came down to fouls, and more specifically from James Harden, because then he's on the free throw line where he feels very comfortable. It's not contested, because that's, where you're getting a free throw. No one can contest you. Meanwhile, Jokić only went to the foul line twice. He only shot 4 free throws, and unfortunately, he made only 2 of those, but he only went twice. James Harden made 13 free throws. Like, you cut those free throws out, and he's actually sitting around, a Michael Porter Jr. or a Jamal Murray right now. So, like, I don't want to hear about this whole Jamal Murray hate, because clearly he's actually doing something decent. He's actually, upping his game. He's trying to get better. He's trying to fix whatever's going on with him. Whereas James Harden, the only patch that he made was to go to the foul line. So when we get back from the break, we're going to get into the takeaways from the game. As a cinematographer, photographer, and now a podcaster, I do believe lighting is everything. And if you're serious about creating dynamic content, you need to check out Nanlite. They're all about precision and control. Whether it's soft, natural lighting, or vibrant colors, Nanlite gives you full flexibility to set the mood for any scene. From compact LEDs to powerful softboxes, Nanlite has light solutions that fit every setup. It's ideal for photographers, like myself, videographers, like myself, and creators who want to pro-grade quality right out on their fingertips. With Nanlite, you're lighting like a pro every time. And we're back. All right, so the big takeaways from this game is that, one great thing is that Jokić tonight tied Magic Johnson with a career triple-double at 189, I think it was, 189, 183, something like that. And so he's, getting up there. He's actually nipping close to Westbrook's. Like I said, like if he's averaging these triple doubles, he could easily get up to Westbrook's 200 this season, if not next season. So you better believe before Jokić retires, he will be the leading player with the most career triple doubles, which is phenomenal. It's just crazy. Like, the guy is on a whole nother level. Like, don't even show me James Harden. He is nothing compared to Jokić. Jokić is the man, okay? And then I don't think Jalen Brunson gets enough flowers or praise, because he's awesome. And then obviously you have Luka too. So he's doing all right. He didn't have a great start to the season, and it's been mainly Kyrie carrying that team right now. So, but this game, Jokić finally he got tied with career triple doubles with Magic Johnson. And then, like I said before, what told the story of this game was free throws. Free throws completely told the story, and it's odd because when the season started, the Nuggets were actually the ones that were they led the league in attempted free throws and getting to the foul line. So now all of a sudden they just like kind of plummeted, and they shot off that, and now they're not even making their free throws. They're sitting around more like that 60% rather than they were at an 80% before. And so that needs to be tightened back up, because that was working for them at first. They need to tighten that back up, get better at free throws, get to the foul line more often, and also working on not fouling other people, especially when they're at the arc. You can't foul someone when they're at a 3-point. Like, that happened so many times tonight. I don't know how many times that the Nuggets actually fouled a player that was trying to make a 3-point shot. It happened to Powell. It happened to Harden. I think it happened to someone else. I forget. But it was frustrating, and it got old. It was like, stop fouling them. Michael Porter Jr. fouled Harden, then complained that it wasn't a foul. It was a foul. Like, there were certain fouls that the refs called that I would definitely agree with. Okay, yes, it's a foul. But there were a lot of calls that they were making that just were egregious. So, so like I said before, this was a game I think that they could have. Ideally, you wouldn't want to lose this game, and you shouldn't really be able to afford any losses. But if you had to lose a game this week, you had Clippers, now you have Golden State Warriors, and then the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers, you're on the road. You're in Cleveland for that one. The Golden State Warriors are at home, where you right now are not having a very good home win streak or win ratio. So if you're going to take a hit, I would definitely, probably, unfortunately, take the hit with Clippers. Try to get the team right before you head into a match against, or a game against, the Golden State Warriors at home, where we have so far been horrible at, when we should be the best at home defending. And then after that, then you're traveling over to Cleveland to face the 1 seed. So I think that the Nuggets definitely they need to act like they are hungry for a win, because they should be hungry for a win. They should need to be a lot hungrier than they look right now. If we look at the standings right now, so from tonight, or last night, the Nuggets now, before this game, they were at the 5th seed. Now, because of this loss, they have plummeted to the 9th seed. We lose one more game and we are completely even out of any kind of attempt to go to the playoffs. Now again, we haven't even hit the halfway mark yet, so that definitely plays in our favor. And the Western Conference is just so difficult right now that if you lose one game, you're in the play-in or you're out completely. So like the Timberwolves right now, they're sitting at 9-10. They are the 11th seed right now. We are the 9th seed, sitting with 10-8. So if we win one, we go up. We match Phoenix, and now Phoenix and Denver are sitting 7-8. And then hopefully the Clippers will lose a couple more, and they'll drop more. The Lakers are sitting at the 6th seed. The Mavericks are now up to a 5th seed because they have won 4 games in a row. Memphis, for some reason, I think it's probably mostly because of Ja coming back, they've now gone on a win streak and have won 6 games in a row. They were sitting before at the 11th seed. Now they are at the 3rd seed. Golden State Warriors are at the 4th seed. They were at the 1st seed in the Western Conference. They were the top ones. They were the ones everyone was fearing. Now they're at the 4th seed. They've had 4 losses in a row. And then the Houston Rockets now are the 2nd seed, and OKC is sitting at the top. So it's a very difficult right now. If you even were to take the games behind 1st seed, Nuggets are 4 games behind the 1st seed. And then you go from there all the way up. And so it's like 4 games, 3 games, 2.5 games, 1.5 games, half game, or whatever. Like, it's so freaking close, because then you go to the Eastern Conference, and between the 1st and 2nd seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics, they are only a 1.5 point game difference between them. But then you have just with the the 1st seed and the 3rd seed, which is the Orlando Magic, you have 3.5 games difference behind. So that's just how crazy the 1st and 2nd seed is within the Eastern Conference versus. So next game again is against the Golden State Warriors. It is a cup game, even though we are not going for the cup anymore. We are still trying to play for rankings in the league itself. So it's still very important. It still matters, and I don't call or advise the Nuggets to even consider taking a loss on this one. Like, they need to play like everything matters. They need to play like this is a playoff game, despite the fact that it's relatively meaningless now for them in the tournament. It's still very meaningless in the overall season. So that's my take.
Well, that's all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it out to your friends and family. And you've been watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports and movies with good vibes. We'll catch you later.